week, I think, last week and 2 weeks ago, thereabout, we received several inquiries from individuals identifying themselves as fans of somebody popularly known as Muzungu Boda, asking whether he was deported from Uganda and the reasons for the deportation. This gentleman, his real names are Reid Samuel James Amin. Reid Samuel James Amin, but popularly known as Muzungu Boda on social media, especially TikTok. He was recently, of course, removed from Uganda for reasons based on working illegally on a visitor's pass. He has since returned to his home country of New Zealand. We did not deport this gentleman. We removed him. There are two things here. There's organized departure. If you're a foreigner found working on a visitor's pass or on a wrong visa, we organize for your removal from the country. And if you acquire the necessary papers that allow you to work, then you're allowed to come back into the country, which is different from deportation. Deportation is ordered by one, the Minister of Internal Affairs, or courts of law. Courts of law or Minister of Internal Affairs. Nobody else orders deportation. Now, what happens with deportation? The individual is not allowed to return to the country whatsoever. For organized departure, somebody can go back to their country, rearrange and reorganize themselves and acquire the necessary facilities and be able to return to the country to continue with their work. For deportation, you cannot be allowed to return to the country. So for this Muzungu Boda, he was merely removed. This gentleman was found working, running a charitable non-governmental organization illegally without a work permit. And those are the reasons that formed the basis for his organized removal. At some point, you would find this man in one of the recordings doing very weird things, and we even imagined whether he was in his right sense of mind. In one recording, which he did with children, he would be seen drifting with children to very worrying levels, almost children hitting their heads on the tarmac and crying. Children are seen crying while he was laughing, you know. That was a very terrible thing. In another, we saw him run to an old woman, I think, who was carrying her matoke on the head. He's seen grabbing the matoke from the lady's head, then was forcefully seen kissing the lady's breast. And the lady was not amused. After seeing that the lady was not amused, he tossed a 10,000 note to the old woman. Now, such things are not allowed in the African culture, where you grab somebody in public wanting to kiss. That amounts to sexual assault. So he was doing so many things at departures in Entebbe at the airport. He behaved in an awkward situation by yelling at whoever he saw wearing either immigration uniform or government of Uganda with a government of Uganda badge. So that kind of behavior was really uncalled for. So we peacefully sent him to his country and asking him to first reorganize himself. Then he will return, and we shall let him in. He was, I think, a self-appointed spokesperson of government, talking about potholes here, you know, talking about things which were uncoordinated. So we thought the work he had given himself, he needed to have paid for a work permit for it in order to do that kind of work. So of course, to work in any country, including Uganda, an individual must possess a valid work permit. This country has laws, has regulations, has policies to follow. It is not permissible to work or study on a visa or visitor's tourist pass. And unfortunately, for aid, it did not adhere to these regulations. And as a law-abiding country, we could not sit and just clap hands as he continues to break the immigration law. So as it's a standard practice, he was removed from the country along with several others. I wonder why they did not make noise about the others he was removed along with. But I think because he had created a name on TikTok as popular. And of course, all individuals engaging in any form of work, whether it is business, employment, running an NGO, or voluntary work, must secure the necessary work permits, which this gentleman, Raid, popularly known as Muzungu Boda, did not adhere to. So those removed through organized departure can return to Uganda if they apply for the relevant work permit and it is granted. So we do hope this gentleman, now that he went back to New Zealand, he will sit down and go through the immigration laws and know and understand that for you to be able to work in a foreign country, you must have acquired a work permit for that effect. And finally, I will not get tired of warning fraudsters targeting passport applicants. We urge our valued, of course, passport applicants to be aware of fraudsters claiming to offer quick and fast services. The other time we reported of a gentleman who used to sit outside the ministry, especially around MTN headquarters there, and his was to look for those who did not have photographs, and he would, of course, ignorantly parade them and take them to Rufula in the name of getting photographs for them to acquire passports. Remember, with the new passport application system, you do not need a photo taken from outside, because we have cameras, state-of-the-art, which do the cameras from processing center when you come for a passport. So we do not collaborate in any way with any agents. No one should claim to be a passport agent with connections within our office. If you have come to apply for a passport, you have come to be personalized, please walk up to inside. Nobody should attempt to deter you from entering the ministry premises. The Ministry of Internal Affairs is a government ministry that allows the public. Some of these have been scaring people that entering the ministry will lead to arrest over nothing. So the ministry is open to whoever cares to come to the passport center. Because of the efficient way we are doing things now, our call center has continuously received very few calls of recent, meaningful calls. We have now a group of some young men, because their voices are a bit similar. They keep calling our agents, asking for numbers, asking to take them out for lunch. Now you can see, instead of asking serious things about passport, about permits, they're asking to take our call agents out for lunch. This means we have addressed the passport issues flatly. We have addressed the work permit issues. We do not have issues for people to call. That's why I think they are now digressing and talking about lunch, dinner for our agents. So we continue calling upon our people, especially applicants who seek for our services, to be very, very careful especially about the brokers who promise to offer a quick service. Passport applications now are run very fast. If you applied today, you get the appointment the same day. I have just applied the passports for my children this morning at 8, and I was given an appointment at 9. And by the time I walked in here, the process is ongoing. So you do not have to use a third party or a broker in matters to do, especially with passport and other services, because things have been streamlined. By the time I left the ministry, there were just a handful of people applying for passports in the center. Our officers were almost redundant, waiting for applicants to enter there. So we want to thank the new administration at the ministry and the officers for this milestone. So, of course, there are people who are still being conned, even with this efficiency. Just 2 weeks ago, a gentleman, this is a lawyer working with a reputable firm in Kampala, who was conned 1 million shillings in the name of offering a quick passport. A lawyer who knows the law, working within Kampala, being conned 1 million shillings. Of course, he came complaining to me, but as usual, with good PR, I was saying, sorry, sir, but back in my mind, I was saying, look at this fool. Because here, a lawyer, to have been conned 1 million shillings in the name of being assisted to process a passport. It does not carry a lot of sense at all. So these agents, of course, pose outside the ministry premises, very smartly dressed, using scare tactics. You will be arrested inside, your passport will not come out. For you, you are not a Ugandan, the way you look. So they will use all those tactics. But desist from that, walk inside, you will even be amazed at how quickly we process your passport. Only uniformed officers at our counters can provide, of course, guidance, disregard all instructions from unauthorized individuals who are not in uniform, who keep rotating outside the ministry, trying to lure you, trying to ask. If you see anyone asking for money from you, even if